As we said, we did take a little tour around. Maybe, David, you might tell us some of the things. We started off, I know, in the garden.
I know, yeah.
So what parts of the garden?
Well, we looked at the plants, like, and there's one part of the garden that's really interesting to me. It's like a book hotel. That was really interesting to me because I've never seen that before. Stones, yeah, lovely painted stones, and the garden gnomes, and it's beautiful. And the lettuce there and cabbages, thing it was.
Interactive
and
thing.
Inside the hall, then Derva does. What interested me was that different year that the students, the past and present students, and the years they went to school, and I think I looked up mine, and I think I started in 2002, and I finished in 2011. I never thought that before. I never knew that I did. Like
there was your name on the plaque as well. Yeah. Take us through the school, David. When we went in the front door of the hall.
Yeah. Like we went in the front door of the hall. Like those beautiful, like posters you could see, or paintings by the students, and we went to the classroom. Then like there was like a television there, and there's a small little altar, and there's lovely posters out. There's a book there. Catherine was telling me when we were doing the film. She was telling me to tell us about the book called The Gruffalo.
That's right.
And I remember reading it when I was going to school, and looking back now, I suppose I think it's still a great experience when to come back and see the school where I started.
It was lovely actually watching you walk through the school because. And the kitchen where you were taught
home economics,
two dishes,
two dishes every Friday, and the food pyramids, like eat more down the bottom than the top. Now over here we have the junior infants and class. This is the class I went to when I was starting off here in school. My teacher was Miss McAndrew. Over there then, I remember going in there very well. I used to have tools there for gardening and all that. I'm inside here in the ASD room, and this room here is for children with autism. It's a great facility here in Glencastle, and it's a beautiful classroom. Now over here I see we have books. Now here on the board I see here we have the good social skills, and these skills are very important to every child in the country. I suppose when I started here, I had to learn about these skills. This one here is called I Can Well Work in the Group. That'd be part of teamwork. I listen well, which is a good communication skill. Very important for every child to listen to the instructions. I know how to take turns. That means like if you're doing a project, say like if you're doing sports today, like and you're doing the tree like a race or any sport, you have to give the person a chance to take part in the sport. You can't always do it yourself. I look at the person I'm talking to. By doing the course in Belmont, it's very important to me because I was a very shy student when I started off here, but now I'm more confident when I'm talking to people. I let the other person know I understand them. That means when a person is talking to you, you know that you understand them when you're talking to them. And I understand feelings. Like every child has to understand about the types of emotions or feelings. Like even when I start off here, I had to learn about if you're happy or if you're sad, if you're angry, you have to learn about it and how to deal with them by talking to someone. Over here we have some folders and we have some games. Like I remember playing bingo. They're doing the words of the week. Like for example, local adjective, verb and noun. So they're and here then every morning at the morning prayer, which is important. And here on the windowsill we have the stars of the week, our invisible timetable. See here, look students' names, and over here we have another poster, and it's about our calendar, and it's about the months of the year and the days of the week. Looking at here, I see the summer. So this is words that are with summer, such as ice cream, the seaside, the sunflower, airplane, the sunny, and the sandcastle. Over here then we have the copybooks, then we have the Lego blocks, and over here this is the maths board. This is 2D shapes. Maths is a great skill for learning. I see here we have hexagon, the triangle, the circle, and the rectangle.
And David, you would have gone to school here?
Yeah, I would have gone to school here, Deborah. Like, coming back here, I suppose, is a great opportunity to me, because like I'm a great supporter here, and I always will be a good supporter. And yeah, like I love coming back here and visiting all my old friends and people I went to school with, and it's great, beautiful place.
And Dave, what are you doing now?
Well, I'm doing the job seekers course. It's located in Autism in Balmullet, and the previous course I done was the multimedia. In the job seekers course, I have to learn about employment and teamwork, how to work as a team, and on the multimedia then I used to do radio productions, and I used to do, you know, a bit of web authoring and design your own book covers or brochures or business cards, anything like that, and social media. And then I also put a radio show together, so I did, when I was on the JobStar course. It's called Chatterbox, and basically we talk about topics that we course related, or it could be any topic, and pick from music, and it's on Friday to Saturday, it's on Friday at 2 o'clock and Saturday at 1 o'clock on RSFM, which is the local radio station in Balmullet. And I do a radio show with you, Barrett, called Good Morning Eris on Saturday mornings. Now, welcome here. Now, this is the special class here in the main building, and this class officially opened by Bishop Thomas Finnegan in 1992, and I suppose this is the class that I suppose the first class to go to, and as a pupil I used to go. This is the kitchen, where I suppose students in this class have their lunch. This is the food pyramid. I was taught in this class, you eat more at the bottom than less in the top. Now over here, every Friday I used to cooking. I used to cook different types of food. Spaghetti bolognese, chicken stir fry, all the good foods. In here, this is the building, and this is the classroom that the Crinnish money built. I remember being here when we used to do maths, and we used to say our prayers every morning, and sometimes every Friday we used to do sports day here as well in the building. We used to take part in activities. Over here I see we have a board here that says, "Look what we are learning at school." This example here: respond to my name, play with my lights, recognize sensory. What's that word?
Yeah, vocab.
Vocab. This is some CDs there. Every morning here, the students they have a little altar, and this means that they pray. This is the board. I learned how to read when I was here in school, and now the students in the classroom are learning about the book, the Buffalo, the reading about it. Down here, these are more books. This means every student learn. This is how they learn how to read by reading books. Okay, I'm in here in the multi-sensory room, and this was built thanks to the ongoing money from the Crinnish.
Glencastle School and its special classes, you know, have their origins back in the last century, really, back in the 2000s, when it was set up there to accommodate children with special needs from all over Erris. And it is a hugely impressive school for loads of reasons. It's impressive, firstly, because of the children who are there, secondly, because of the staff and the teachers, and thirdly, because of the amount of support it has here in Erris. And the Crinnish Weekend is a way of showing the support that is widespread through Erris for Glencastle Special School. I worked for the Department of Education,
yes,
and through that job I worked all over the country and visited hundreds, if not thousands, of schools. And I visited many, many special schools throughout the country. And I have no hesitation in saying that Glencastle is the best model that I have ever come across of a mainstream school with attached special needs classes that works so well. I had the honour of working on the government advisory group on autism, and so it was great when we recently had an autism class come into being in Glencastle. So now we have our 3 mainstream classes with our mainstream teachers. We have our autism class with its own teacher and special needs assistants, and we also have our special class at the back of the school, which is supported by Lisa and her special needs assistants there. So it all works well together. Everybody works extremely well together, and I'm always totally impressed when I walk in there at the level of professionalism and commitment there is throughout the school. Oh, I remember David as a young little lad there in Glencastle, and now look at him here in the studio looking the part, and I think it's wonderful. And what I like about Glencastle is that you're not treated as a number, you're treated as a person, and not a person with any kind of disability. You're treated as somebody who's able to do stuff. And if you talk to the mainstream children in Glencastle, they have a better understanding of needs than anybody I know, because they see it every day and they make no big deal about it. So as far as we're all concerned in Glencastle, we're all the same. We're in there together. There's some things that we're good at. There's some things that we're useless at. We all have different sorts of abilities, and we get on with it and make the most of life. About a year ago, we put in an application for money to the Department of Education so that we could reconfigure the building that is Glencastle National School and the special class. One of the things that I don't like and didn't like about the setup was that the special needs classes are separate from the main building. And, you know, I've just mentioned the fact that we're all in there together. We're a school together. And I don't like separation. I much prefer integration, where the whole school is integrated together and we're living together. And indeed, the Department of Education itself all the time recommends integration into the mainstream wherever possible. And yet here we have a building that is separate and distinct in a way, although we make every effort to integrate the special needs children with the mainstream classes as much as possible. And there is a level of integration each day for some length of time.
Yeah.
And we work at that. But it would be so much easier, I think, that if all the children that attend Glencastle National School came in the same front door every day and left through the same door in the evening and worked together, and that would give us a sense of unity that we don't completely have at the moment. So I wanted a building where it was all together under the same roof and with the same front door for everybody. Now, we we made the application about a year ago, and I was pleasantly surprised when I was away in America recently, and I was pleasantly surprised when I got a message from Catherine to say that the money was granted. And I can tell you, it was a special day to get that news. We didn't expect it so quickly, and so it's come as a little bit of a surprise that it's come so early, but we're already making plans on how to deal with that money and how to put a design team in place so that we design a new building for the special needs section.
That's great news. Like, it's a great achievement.
On behalf of everybody in Erris, yourself and Catherine and the entire team, like to thank you, for the work, because it benefits us all. It benefits us all, and I can't imagine being a parent and not having to go outside your own community to be able to educate your child.
Absolutely.
If your child has any need.
Yeah, indeed. There are so many people who give the time and commitment. I mean, as chair of the Board of Management, I would like to say formally thank the Board of Management, who are all volunteers as well, who work on the committee, and also the staff, of course. And what really impresses me about Glencastle School is that the way people work together. I mean, you can have a great school, you can have a great building, but at the end of the day, what makes a good school is good teachers and good staff. And if you have good teachers and good staff, you're fine. Now, the building does help to some extent and makes life easier. Mm-hmm. But what we have is a group of good staff in Glencastle who work well together, who are totally committed to the job they do. And there are smiling faces everywhere I go when I walk into Glencastle. And it's wonderful to see. I hear that you got special tuition in singing as well.
Yeah, I have. Yeah,
and that you and I've heard you sing, but I believe that started too in Glencastle.
I did, yeah, because like I used to be in the choir, like, and this be a teacher there coming there called Miss Freese, and she used to come and teach us like the music and the songs, and I suppose that's how I started. Like, and I used to get involved in the choir, like at masses and sing, and I knew most of the hymns, but I learned some of the new hymns, like.
So is that how? Okay, so there's an aspect of this child. Okay, enjoys singing, and it's how then the school will work to see. Okay, what can we do to bring this out?
Well, I mean, with my psychologist hat on, I would say that we spend far too much time thinking about what children are not good at, where we should be spending much more time looking at what they're good at.
Yeah.
Because if you think of ourselves, we don't want to dwell on the things we're useless at.
Yes, of course.
It's a bit boring.
And depressing.
And we avoid them like the plague.
Yeah.
So we tend to follow those things that we're interested in and that we're good at. And why wouldn't we? And it's the same with children. We should take the child's interests to begin with and what they're good at and what they're interested in and build on that rather than complaining all the time about they can't do this, they can't do that, can't do the other. We should be concentrating on what people can do and not what people can't do.
Well, anyone that knows David Barrett knows that he can belt out a tune. That's for sure.
Absolutely.
That's for sure.
Yeah, I've never seen a better Elvis.
I was just going to, you took the words out of my mouth. And he's well known around Erris for being, I suppose, the Erris Elvis.
Yeah.
But have I just made up a new name for you? No, you had that anyway, didn't you?
Yeah.
But yeah, we took a lovely walk around the school, and we'll be hopefully showing that little video up in the castle during the Crinnish Weekend, and we'll have a few more little videos from as far back as we have footage for the Crinnish Challenge, the Crinnish Weekend, because it did start back in, I think it was 1992. Am I right there? 1992. Yeah. All started off with a bet. At the time, the class was run out of a room, and then graduated to the big building, or the hall, I mean. And now this is going to be the third, I suppose, life phase of the Glencastle story, if you like. There was a lovely picture in the main hall of the three principals Mrs. Mary Gohan been the first, the principal in my time, and then Mr. P.J. Moran, and then Mrs. Catherine McIntyre, and there was a picture there with the three principals.
Well, I can remember that time well, because
Yeah.
it did start in 1992, because I came back from England in 1993 to settle in Galway. And I remember for the 1993 event, driving from Galway up all the way to Glencastle to catch the walk, and I walked over the hill as far as Crinnish. And I hadn't been in Crinnish since I was a child, playing 25 in Murphy's house there.
Because, of course, Tom is from...
Gurtmore.
Yes.
And indeed, when I went to school, I had to cross the mountain as well. So I was well used to crossing mountains. But I remember that 1993 walk very well, because we walked over the mountain, over to Crinnish. Hadn't been in Crinnish since I'd been there with the Wren many, many decades before. And so it was good to meet Ina and her family that day, I remember, and she was a lovely woman, and indeed Crinnish gave its name to our walk, our support walk, that's coming up, and we're always most grateful to Ina and to her family for all the help we got at that time, and we'll miss her this year.
She'd be in everybody's thoughts, because over the recent years then she was up in Lennon's quarry along with Tommy Lennon, and of course they would have been great friends, and they had a great crack on that day, you know, just to be together and everything, and definitely be thinking about.
And you remind me that I should thank all those people who support the special class throughout the year, not just at the Crinnish Weekend. I'm always amazed at the groups and the number of people who come in and say they want to help in some way, and I'd love to say thank you to them. The money we've got for the building, that's fine. That will have a place to help a new building, but during the year, I know Catherine loves the idea of having a fund or a kitty where she can get extra stuff and extra things for the special needs class, things we wouldn't normally be able to afford. And that's where the Crinnish Fund comes in. That helps Catherine and the staff to provide stuff and facilities that we wouldn't otherwise be able to afford to provide.
Absolutely, and myself and David actually seen some of those really, really specific things. There was a particular type of way of teaching the math in the autism class, and I'm not going to be able to remember the name. It's not numerology, but it's numerics or something.
Numerics.
And there was, and we did take video footage, so do come along to the Castle Inn to see it. This particular type of clock, and it had whatever way, I couldn't make head nor tail of it, but these children can, so fair play to them, because I couldn't make head nor tail of it. But it was really an expensive piece of equipment, but that's to teach them how to tell the time and those basic things. And now it did look like something from NASA, I have to say that.
Well, we're very lucky that we've got Niall there as the teacher in the autism class. And Niall has huge experience himself, and he has great empathy with children with autism, and he knows more about autism than I do myself. And he puts a wonderful program together there for children with autism, and all their needs are being met in the most complete way. And I'm most impressed every time I go in there and see the work that's going on.
And as we were saying to David there earlier, like David learned how to cook. Do you know, real simple what's the word I'm looking for?
Simple dish food is it? No.
Yeah, but at that age as well, to be learning how to cook and stuff like that, you know, life skills, like real
life skills.
Yeah, you see, I missed out on that, Dave, when I was young. That's why I can't cook today.
Now, Tom.
I wish I'd had the opportunity.
Yeah. So did I, Tom. That's why I don't. That's why I don't cook either. It wasn't on offer at the school at the time, and just even simple things like that you might not realise is. There'd be a lot of hoist, there'd be a lot of mechanical equipment, and you'll be able to see that on the video as well, the amount of mechanical equipment. And all of these things, they need to be inspected. They need to be...
They need to be maintained.
They need to be maintained.
And the maintenance of those is very expensive.
Very.
And if something goes wrong during the day, we can't be applying to the Department of Education for money. So it's wonderful to have some money there where we can deal with it straight away.
Yeah, and please, please, let nobody think because that the school was awarded this fund is very specifically to build the new home, if you like, or whatever. It's not for the ongoing running costs, and that's something that the Crinnish Weekend has always... And also it's a way of, I suppose, the people of Barrett being able to thank the school. You know, being able to thank the teachers, the volunteers, and the children as well. And it's a way to be able just to support them and show up kind of at any of the events, just to say, we know what you're doing.
Well, it's our school, and as you know, Erris is the same size as County Louth.
Yes.
And it's the only facility we have in Erris in special education.
Yeah.
And why should parents in Erris have to send their children to Castlebar or to Ballina on that long journey, when we should be providing those facilities at home ourselves? And this is a great opportunity that we will have a proper facility for special education in Erris, and I look forward to its completion maybe in a couple of years' time.